The Android Studio is a totally comprehensive package. It's got the SDK in it, it's got the IDE. Just download one thing. You don't have to go to the command line and set environment variables. It's a very easy experience. So you download this thing, on a Mac at least, you put it in your applications folder, double click on Android Studio, and you'll see it takes a couple of seconds to start up. It's very quick. Let's create a new project. Let's call it Sample. Let's change the package name here to com.gradleware.sample. And I'm going to target ice cream sandwich, Android 4.0 or above. A very quick note on this. If you go to the developer.android.com site and you go to /about/dashboards, there's a page that has statistics that talk about the distribution of versions in the field. So here you'll see that more than half of the user base is using ice cream sandwich or above, 4.0 or above. There is a large population here on Gingerbread, but that number is decreasing very quickly. So let's go back to Android Studio here. We have Sample as the application name. We have a new package name. Let's click on Next. Here is where you would set the icon. I'm just going to leave this standard. Let's go for blank activity. Let's just leave it as main activity, and then let's have a drop down. So at this point, Android Studio is creating the project. It takes a little bit of time. It's got to build it with Gradle. Every time you build the application in Android Studio, it's delegating it to Gradle. This means that in the IDE, you can change your build configuration in Gradle, run it, and then know that if you use something like Jenkins or a CI server, that's going to be the same build. Previously, the Eclipse-based ADT used a different build interaction with the underlying Android build tools than, say, the Ant-based builds. So there was always this dichotomy, this difference between the two builds. That's gone with Android Studio. So here we are, we have a project. I just want to show you very quickly what you end up with. You end up with, confusingly enough, a blank build.gradle in the top level. But don't worry, the real build is in the sample directory. So there's a sample top level directory, but then there's another directory that holds your application. And this is the one that has the Gradle build. And that's it. That's the simplest build you could possibly have for an Android application. Let's walk through it very quickly. First, it's a reference to Maven Central. So Gradle uses Maven Central to download dependencies. So we apply that plugin here, Android. We list one of the dependencies here, and it's a file that we have locally. So it's a compile scoped dependency, and we reference that file. That file is here in libs. And then we target an SDK version, we target a tools version, we target a minimum SDK version, and a target SDK version. That's it.